Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I want to talk about why he should not waste 1 second trying to beat RFK Jr., who just announced that he is going independent. Right? He's going to make an independent run for the United States of America to 2024 U.S. presidency. Right? And RFK Jr. Came to my backyard, Philadelphia, and I went to see him in person. And I got to see him speak in person. And a buddy of mine actually supports RFK. He likes him as a candidate, right? And he's like, "Hey, you want to go?" And I was like, "Bet, I'm in. Let's go. This is our backyard. This is a political event. I want to see, I want to see politically engaged people, and I'm not going to let a major political event happen in my city and not go see it. Yeah, let's go, right?" So we went together, and it was really nice. And one of the things I've really been blessed with is I don't really share my politics with a lot of people. I try not to. Oh boy, this gets weird. Yeah, how do we get there? Um, I try not to force my politics on people, right? And so, oh, and I can say that, right? You're here on this channel. No one's forcing you to be here. You're here because you like listening to it each day, and I want to make this super clear. The moment you do not enjoy listening to my channel, please go enjoy Breaking Points, who may have an incredibly better channel than me, and you know what I mean. So like, and that's the good point, right? So I often am engaged in politics by myself, and I don't say anything to anybody in my personal life until I'm invited to, right? And I do. Until I'm invited to. I don't really kind of run up on people with politics, right? And so this has been an incredible blessing in 2023 that me following these politics, I really haven't been alone. I've been talking, people have been reaching out to me, talking about the content on my channel, and person that I know personally. That's new. That's different, right? And a friend has been sharing the debates with me, and then shared, this RFK Jr. event with me, and it was a huge blessing. And I really like scouting the competition for the Vivek Ramaswamy community. All right, so first of all, we ain't got a thing to worry about, right? And that's what I want to talk about today. Why do I know we don't need to worry about RFK, right? Well, I'll tell you a little story. I love stories. Let's get into it. All right, so we go there, right? We get into the city. I drive in, and my buddy pays for parking. That was, a nice split, and I really appreciate that he was kind enough to do that, right? And my buddy was like, told other people, we're going to the city. We're probably going to have to park a mile and a half away because this is going to be mobbed, right? Like, and he said that because he expected that RFK Jr.'s announcement would be big news, right? And that's a legitimate. Like, this is Bobby Kennedy's son, right? His dad was assassinated. This dude's pretty epic, right? It makes sense that a ton of people would show up, right? Thousands of people. The crowd was 600 at best by my count, right? Just by my count. You can count wherever you want, but I estimate the crowd was about 600 people, right? And I stood about 200 feet away from him on a stone slab, right? Right before the grass started, right? And at one point, RFK Jr. and pointed, and we're at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. He pointed back, and he goes, "You see that over there? That's the building where they signed the Constitution." And he's right. I live in Philadelphia. I ride my bicycle around it all the time, and it's hard to remember. We are where America got born. Like, we are literally the birthplace of America, right? And and it's wild. Like, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Pocahontas, Harriet Tubman, and Nikola Tesla, all the cool founding fathers were there, and they all signed the Constitution right there, right? Like, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty epic, right? And so it was really, and he pointed, and that building was about 800 feet back, right? And there was a street behind me, 10 feet behind me, right? But I was no farther than 200 feet from RFK, right? And I'll tell you right now, if he was going to win, that street would have been filled, right? That entire field between the National Constitution Center and the building where they signed the Constitution would have been filled. And we were able, my buddy went and took a bathroom break in the middle, right? And had no problem walking right back up to where we were, right? And there was no lack of parking, right? And that's the issue. RFK ain't drawing crowds, right? And that's the point, right? You're like, what's his polling number? Where is he at? What is the percentage of it? Blah, blah, blah. The street behind me, what cars were passing, right? There was plenty of room in front of me, right? I stood on a stone slab 200 feet back because I just did, because I wanted to be, it was a better view. I could have gotten closer. There was no problem getting access to this candidate. There was no rush to be there, right? 600 people ain't gonna do it, man. You are not rallying people, right? And that's the point, right? You could run your charts or whatever nonsense you want. All you need to do is look at patterns, right? He announced he is RFK Jr. announced he is abandoning the Democrat Party and joining the Independent Party, right? And nobody cared. Like, if he was going to win, and he told everybody, you know why we're going to win? Because you're here and you're passionate. I'm like, there ain't enough people here. These numbers are trash, right? Like, and the reality is, if I had been jammed to the wall, right, and had to, and my buddy could not get out to go to the bathroom, that would have been better for his run, right? And the reality is, the street behind us was not blocked. The field was not filled. The crowd did not stretch back to the building 800 feet away that he talked about. He is not rallying people, right? And numbers are dead. Patterns are all that matter now. Pattern recognition is better than math, right? But you can just feel the energy of the crowd. You don't need a chart. You don't need a calculator. You don't need data. You can see it, right? You can feel it. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. And I am certain Vivek Ramaswamy does not need to waste 1 ounce of effort to beat RFK Jr. He beat himself the moment he said, I'm running as an independent. I doubt he'll even be on the ballot in every state. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I hear yours. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider like and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.